Thanks a lot, Kenny. And there he is, Michael O'Connor, taking the Manly Sea Eagles out to a very big crowd here at Brookvale for the last time. And what an important occasion it is, not only for Michael O'Connor, but for the entire Manly unit. Let's have a look at the side. The Manly side is Ridge at fullback, Hancock and Williams the wings, Kevin Iro, Michael O'Connor the centres, Lyons and Tooby the halves, Hasler at lock, then Roberts, Jones, Mestrov, Hosking and O'Donnell. Coached by Graham Lowe. They've played 9 times at home this year. They've won 5 of them, lost 2 and drawn 2. Jeff Tooby has been leading the way for Manly. And now the Illawarra Steelers, they come out. Their side has been chopped about by injuries. Dean Schifoletti leads the side tonight. But let's have a look at their lineup now. As we stand by for the kickoff, it's Riolo at fullback, Wishart and Talls on the wings, Rodwell, Girdler the centres, Fritz and Neal the halves. Then it's Cross at the back of the scrum, Pinchinelli and Morrissey the second row, Dunn and Waddell the front, and Schifoletti captains the side in the number 9 shirt. Graham Murray's in charge of Illawarra, and he can be justly proud of his achievements too. Michael Neal in the side at the expense of John Simon. It was a controversial change by Coach Murray. He certainly chipped in with more than he was entitled to last Sunday in the game against Penrith. Greg McCallum is the man in charge. As I said, he's got a very big crowd on hand here at Brookvale tonight. Illawarra then running from right to left. Wishart just inspecting the ball. And I think McCallum has asked one of the ball boys to kick the other ball out there. And McCallum gets a roar from the crowd and nothing's happened so far. I wonder will he retain the same popularity at the end of 80 minutes.
A tremendous crowd has built up, as you say. Michael O'Connor's last game at Brookvale, but a very important game for Manly as Rod Wishart gets the ball down almost in front of the post, taken by Cliff Lyons, who's wearing the headgear tonight. They'll need a big defensive effort, the Illawarra Steelers, if they're to make up for these injuries.
Kevin Iro plays the ball 15 metres out from his own line, and David Hosking runs into an Illawarra reception committee. They drive him back, and now it's Mestrov. The hair closely cropped for tonight's encounter, brought down on the 22-metre line. Lyons getting around one of the defence players, sending it down to the 32-metre line. Young Riolo comes back, but he's picked up in cover, or picked up in front on defence by Michael O'Connor. Wishart now taking it back towards the halfway mark. Away from Girdler, and then it's come away to Waddell, and crunching tackle. Good tackle by Jones. This is done up to the halfway mark. Schifoletti. Cross, oh gee, another big hit. John Jones, you reckon he's not fired up?
Oh, he's a man on a mission tonight. 2 boppers there. He crunched 2 Illawarra Steelers, and now it's Matthew Ridge to bring the ball back from inside his own quarter.
Gets just beyond that point. Now away for Hancock, folding in from his wing. And the first penalty of the game against Illawarra. Overindulging in the tackle, so Manly will get the clearing penalty just outside their 22.
First penalty going against Bill Dunn there, holding the man down, but John Jones has come up with 2 barnstorming tackles early on, and he's been a marvellous player for the Sea Eagles this year. Really has taken over a lot of the work of Ian Roberts, who's missed a fair bit of the season through injury. There's another man who's had a great year, David Hosking, and the forward starting to set a bit of a platform for the Sea Eagles to work off.
They're right on the halfway line as it goes to Mestrov. Schifoletti takes him high, puts him down. Mestrov plays the ball. O'Donnell goes for a scamper on the blind side. And Manly in the middle of this set of 6 tackles, away for Lyons and now for Hasler. Hasler able to get it away. Back for Lyons. Now it's Ridge. Right on the halfway mark. Swarming defence from Illawarra. Iro. Jones. Heavy confrontations in the forward division. 5 gone for Manly. Lyons chips over the top for Williams down the right wing. Riolo makes the mistake, puts them all onside.
Very enthusiastic chasing there by the Manly side, the kick, and O'Connor, he's having a good game early. Sideline comments, Steve Roach.
Paul, Manly has started this game right on the right foot. Unfortunately, Illawarra receiving the ball far too back from the advantage line.
Pincinelli now. Good struggling run. Ending on the 22 line. This is done. He's bouncing away from the shoulder charge by Roberts. Skivoletti. Ridge.
Smart play there from Dean Skivoletti. Had a fine match last weekend. Saw that Jeff Tuvey had gone up very quickly on the intended kicker. Skivoletti able to get out of dummy half. The kick to the far side of the field. A good chase from the Illawarra side. Both teams very enthusiastic early on in this game. Manly again go wide, which they do best.
Haslam. Jones. Lyons. Cut out pass wide for Roberts.
A bit of an overlap there too. Rod Wishart had 3 men. They could have kept the ball going.
Lyons got a bad pass. Now for O'Connor. He looks for the line. Not much time at his disposal, but spot on from Michael O'Connor. The scrum midway between the 22 and the halfway Illawarra's end of the ground. Chilly night here at Brookvale, but hasn't kept anybody away. Big occasion. Wishart. Hasler and Lyons combining to make the tackle.
The Steelers will be looking for a lot of involvement from Rod Wishart with McIndoe out and being one of the more experienced players on the side. He's got to come in, get involved. When he goes to dummy half, he will run the football. He does it very well. Even those sides now know that that's the case when he goes there.
Morrissey for Girdler. Going away, and the number 5 of a jumper is Andrew Pauls. Skivoletti. Waddell. Hosking leading the way in defence on that occasion. They come back to a wide blind. It's cross away from Pincinelli. That's play on. Pauls puts in the centre kick. Michael Neal chases and regathers.
Well, he was a mile offside, Michael Neal, for mine. This last tackle, they'll get another chance here, and they've got numbers if they decide to run it.
Rodwell, danger player. Turning it back inside. Pincinelli handled. It's come away for Bill Dunn. Goes for the round the corner pass. Waddell is there to pick it up. Scoops it away for Pincinelli. Now they get the kick high into the air. Ridge makes the mistake. It's 6 more tackles for the team in red.
And there's space on the right if they want to use it. McNeil, he's seen it.
Fritz it is, brought down 15 out. Wishart looking for a quick play the ball. Wedges play towards the corner. Fritz goes to dummy half. 10 metres out. Morrissey for Pincinelli. Pincinelli away from a feeble attempt to tackle. 8 metres out still. Away now for Waddell. Inside for Dunn. Outside for Skivoletti. No gaining ground. Swarming defence by Manly. Morrissey came off a Manly foot. Picked up by Fritz. Not played at by Manly, says the referee. No nullification of the tackle count. Manly ball.
Yeah, and great Manly defence there. 12 tackles they had on them in their own quarter. And Illawarra threw everything at them, but just couldn't make the break. And that was great Manly defence. That'll stand them in good stead for the rest of the match.
They did scramble very well, Paul, but I thought they had opportunities. Illawarra, if they'd have come to left a few times, turned the ball back in on a couple of occasions.
Manly now rucking it out. Steve Roach.
When Illawarra had the ball, then they should have powered towards the post with 2 or 3 forwards and then decided to shift wide. Manly was short on the left-hand side, as Peter Sterling added.
Played by Jones. O'Donnell. Put a few good matches together, David O'Donnell, particularly in recent weeks. Ridge. Charged down by the Steelers. Ridge has eventually cleaned it up.
Well, that was nearly try time there. Matthew Ridge had the charge down on the kick. There were two Illawarra players coming through. A Manly penalty will relieve the pressure. They'll be lucky to get out of that one. There we see the result of the kick being charged down. Skipperletti had the ball on his fingertips for a moment. Pinchinelli was there, but Ridge did very well to regather.
Penalty against the Steelers for markers not standing directly behind one another. Second penalty of the game. It goes to Manly. Ridge finding the line just inside his 22. Now Hosking.
Well, that's a good run, you know. From a tap, no one should ever make 10 metres, but he just did that so easily, Hosking through pure determination.
Estrov. Pulled down by Dannon Morrison. 2v. Roberts. Loves to run off a pivot. Shuffles the ball out the back. O'Connor's with it. I don't know that there was any need for the pass.
No, that was shuffled out the back, and very fortunate that it was touched by an Illawarra player. So it is 6 again for Manly. And Cliffy Lyons gets half through a gap, gets the ball to an outside support, but well covered up by Neal and Wishart.
Played by Ridge. This is Hasler. Hasler brushes from Morrissey. Puts the fend on Pinchinelli's chin. Held down by Fritz. O'Donnell again.
It's a good willing start by both teams.
Yeah, well, the Eagles' defence is hitting hard, but let me tell you, the Steelers, they're hitting just as hard in defence. Look, they know they've got to win this game as well. This match is going to be a terrific game.
Lions again using the option of Michael O'Connor, and again O'Connor obligingly finds the line. Not with much room to work in, however. No score after 9 minutes of Friday night football. The scrum just outside the Illawarra 22.
The Steelers thought they got a little bit of a lucky break last week, not with the win over Penrith, but with the fact that Newcastle only took 1 point against the Gold Coast. That allowed Illawarra to go into outright third spot on 25 points. Here's a penalty for them. And Manly backs inside the required distance from the scrum. So Steve Roach, that was a big plus for the Steelers. They'd have thought they would have been on the same amount of points as Newcastle, but they're in third spot, and that's the place to finish in the top 3.
Well, you've got to finish in the top 3 if you expect to win the comp, even though it's been done before. But I'm especially impressed tonight early in the game with Cliff Lyons, and if there's an injury cloud over Laurie Daly for the World Cup tour, I'm sure that Bobby Fulton will be taking Cliffy Lyons with him.
Played by Waddell.
Is that as a player, Block?
As a player, mate, he's a good player.
Neal away for Pinchinelli. Steelers about 10 metres into Manly's area now. No score on the board. This is Billy Dunn. No holes presenting themselves as yet. Now they stack the blind side for Morrissey and Rodwell. Rodwell gets inside the 22.
Great tackle by Lyons there. They created numbers, but he came in. Very big tackle on the big centre.
Skipperletti away now for Cross. This is Pinchinelli. 5 tackles gone. Tubing and Hasler to the 4 in defence. Neal. Rubbing kick ahead. Ridge is there. And fullback David Riolo comes down with Michael Neal and John Cross to tie him up.
Very ordinary kick there by Mick Neal, just behind the defence, but Matthew Ridge always had it covered very, very easily. He might have been better off putting one up and giving his attacking players a chance to get on top of it.
He's always impressed me, Ridge, in his ability to locate himself in the right place at the right time.
Look, he's a great defensive player, but an even better positional player. Wherever the ball seems to be, he is right there on the spot.
Ball played by Ian Roberts. Lions. An angular kick across the ground. And David Riolo with a little bit of space. Lions went straight down the ground. It's exactly what the kicker should do. Straight down the ground, putting everybody onside as he goes. Andrew Pauls. Wishart finds a little bit of space.
And he found a little bit of space there, Ray, because there was only one marker. When Wishart goes to dummy half, you must have 2 men working out of that position or he will hurt you. Waddell gets one out the back. They keep it alive. John Cross will do well to stay in here. Wrapped up by Darryl Williams.
We're about 37 metres out from the line. Pincinelli. Gee, you can see it yourself. Wherever you're watching around Australia, you're hitting very hard. Jones was prominent again there. Now Ridge, I don't think he'll get it back. He's got a ring of the Steelers around him. Line drop out, we'll see Illawarra come back with 6 tackles.
And this is a better kick by McNeil. He could see where Ridge was and positioned the kick a lot better. Put it in the air and gave the men outside him a chance to get through and put some pressure on Ridge. Ridge once again in position, handle it very well. But Illawarra, they're looking all right with the ball. And I'm impressed tonight by Pincinelli. I think he's having a fine game still, eh?
He certainly is, and he's one player that's come in back from injury. He was back in first grade as a replacement player not too many weeks later, and I've got a big rap on him down there. He's a starting player, isn't he, really? And as I said earlier, that they've got a lot of strength, their reserve strength to call on, and he's one player that's certainly doing a job for them tonight.
Well, I think he's got to take the role of Ian Russell, who they will miss tonight because he's such a creative player. And Pincinelli, maybe he'll slip into that role. Here he goes now.
Pincinelli held up midway between the 22 and the halfway. Manly's end of the ground. Cut-out ball across the face for Waddell, back for Neil, then for Rodwell. Beautiful tackle. Brings a roar from the crowd from Tuvey. Now Skiffaletti. O'Donnell is there to shut the middle up. Mestrov with some support. Rodwell. High ball. Ridge getting underneath it. Not a great deal of pressure.
No pressure there, but it's not a bad idea to kick to the fullback without having to make him chase so that he can't get some momentum to go up for the football. If you can have him basically standing still and having your chasers able to come with momentum and climb high, you can have a fair bit of success with that. That kick just a little bit too long, the chasers didn't have time to get there.
Manly's appointment next weekend is with Cronulla at the Caltex field. And Illawarra, they are faced with Brisbane at Steelers Stadium. Lions, straight to Riolo. Really brings the ball back well. Comes around Iro, gets into a gap, finds Andrew Pauls, but he runs back into traffic. And he runs into John Jones. This is only their second tackle, and Rodwell has taken it to the 22 line.
Playing very good field position, the Illawarra team, not making mistakes with the football, but they are keeping the ball alive, playing with a lot of confidence.
The thing is that Manly are just looking to kick the ball out of the territory rather than run it, and the Illawarra defences had no work to do whatsoever. Here's a go out wide, but well covered by Tuvey.
Good luck getting it out the back. In and away for Neil. That's knocked on by Manly, I do believe.
6 again.
It's Wishart going back 15 out from the line. Skiffaletti to dummy half. Right in the centre of the park, Michael Neal, David Riolo, across the face for Pincinelli. There's a try. Andrew Pauls. He's taken off, flies through the air, and picks up a try for the Illawarra side.
Some ordinary defence there. I think you'll find that Kevin Iro is the man that didn't come up with the tackle. He went in when he really needed to stay out. To go back to the previous play, it was the last tackle. They kept the ball alive. Good presence of mind by all the Illawarra team to know it was the last tackle. Ball was finally touched by Manly, and they kept the ball alive. Some great work done out wide here. Michael Neal picked up David Riolo. There's Kevin Iro. He's gone in. He's left a 2-on-1 situation. Darryl Williams couldn't do anything about it, and Andrew Pauls mightn't have scored the try if he hadn't left the ground that way.
No, it's a great dive. They give him a 9.5 for the dive. Sensational stuff by him. But that's a good option, you know, running it on the 5th tackle. And once again, how many times do we see it? Tries do come on the 5th tackle when the teams decide to run it.
So Andrew Pauls is the try scorer. And 4 points to 0 in favour of Illawarra.
Graham Lowe will be very disappointed with the defence there. Kevin Iro really had no right to go in. They created the play over towards the sideline, so there was never really too much of a problem there if they just marked up man-to-man, and Kevin Iro was the man who went in, and that created all sorts of problems for Darryl Williams. There are the Manly players behind the line. Giving you a few words to say, David O'Donnell, Cliffy Lyons, got to bounce back from this. They played very good field position, Illawarra, and they've now converted it into points.
Well, they had to soak up enormous pressure. A kick earlier by Michael Neal. He saw Ridge trapped in his own in goal. Gave Illawarra a set of 6. Back to back. Now Wishart from the touchline. 27 metres out. It's not turning. No goal. And Illawarra lead Manly by 4 points to nil after 18 minutes. Disregard that scoreline. Now it's right. 4-0 in Friday night football. Start time.
Gee, they will be disappointed, won't they, the Eagles, because they've played the game in their own quarter for nearly the whole match, and Illawarra just seem to be doing everything right at this stage. Sideline comments, Steve Roach.
Yeah, well, Darryl Williams is probably one of Manly's best front-on defenders. He's playing out of position on the wing, and this is the third or fourth time that Illawarra have come down this left-hand side of the field and found him out of position.
Well played by the try scorer. Waddell.
Like, I think you're being a bit harsh on Williams there. I thought that he was left on a 2-on-1 situation, and he was really in an area that he shouldn't have been left in. I thought the inside men were at fault by going in. I know he is playing out of position.
Yeah, I will agree with you there, Sterlo, but it's about the third or fourth time that he's come in off his wing, and Andrew Pauls has stayed right on the sideline. That's where they beat him.
Well, you see a change out there now. Kevin Iro has actually been moved out onto the wing, and Darryl Williams back into the centre, so Graham Lay might agree.
Ridge. Hancock, Lyons, Iro. Hancock follows him on the inside. Williams on the outside. Long ball required for Lyons.
They've got the numbers out wide, the Eagles.
Tuvey. Hancock. Inside the 22. Manly striking back. Roberts. Tuvey. Fortunate ball for Manly. Hosking. Lyons has gone without it. O'Connor. Ridge. Now they chance the wall. Riolo pressure. Not really.
No, not really at all. The kick was aimed back towards that way, but it was only Hancock, and it looked like Des Hasler going through. He didn't react very well in that situation at the Manly side. It was a poor chase, and in the end, David Riolo had quite a free catch, only 10 metres out from his own line.
Cross. Pinchinelli.
Paddy, you were talking about Manly not running the ball out of their own line, being forced to kick and really not picking up a real good field position. As Illawarra, they made a mistake here. Manly have got the ball, keeping it alive now. Michael O'Connor, the big step, but he's well wrapped up.
Good tackle out in the centres from Ryan Girdler. He's come out of the tackle injured, however. Jones hammers the ball to the 10-metre line. Now, 12 players behind him and a big crowd pumping out there for him. Roberts.
Great tackle, Michael Neal there, front on Ian Roberts. Got out off the line quickly, came up with a beauty.
Lyons. Tuvey. Still 10 metres out from the line. High drama for Illawarra at the moment. Mestrom. Roberts signalling they want it out very wide to the right. Lyons puts the kick up. Bounce goes over the dead ball line though.
Illawarra defending so well in their own quarter at this stage of the match. Manly throwing the ball around, but just can't find that gap they need. And the Steelers doing it well. Just going back to what I was going to say before Illawarra made the mistake there. Fatty, you're surprised that they aren't throwing the ball around more. If there's one team that is prepared to chance their hand late in a tackle count from their own line, it is the Manly side. Well, we've seen them in the past. If they can put 2 or 3 passes together, no matter where it is on the field, especially in their own quarter, they are a side who can make good ground. At this stage, when they're in their own quarter, all they are doing is taking 2 and 3 and giving the ball back to Illawarra through a kick. Let's see them throw this pill around.
Dunn plays the ball. Morrissey takes it ahead. 79 tackles for Manly, 71 for Illawarra. Rodwell. Charged down attempt by O'Donnell. In fact, he came in contact with it. Ridge probably wasn't aware that everybody was onside. Hancock
And more importantly, he was aware that he didn't have a dummy half there for quite a period of time. Hancock eventually got in. But Matthew Ridge limping very badly as a good run from John Jones takes play down the blind side. Ridge getting attention in back play.
Now it's O'Donnell, flirting with the sideline, but gets a penalty. Back chatting against the Steelers.
Well, that's silly play, that. Too much experience out there, even though it's a young side. There's a bad sight there for Manly fans. Matthew Ridge down. Looks like a problem around the hamstring area, the back of the leg. The player being called out, is that Ryan Girdler?
It is.
Here we see the initial penalty. David O'Donnell taking the play down the blind side. Big hit front on from Rod Wishart. The referee deemed they were inside the 5. It appears as though Girdler must have been the man that said something. Skiffletti up there, just making sure as to what Greg McCallum wants.
Well, the trainer's trying to get Ridge walking down the ground.
He doesn't look real flash, Ridgie. He's looks like he's been nobbled, limping badly.
The tap to be taken. Hancock gets it inside the 22 line. Ridge trying to take up a position in the 3/4. Hosking. Manly, 15 metres out on the 22. Tooby puts it down.
No, he's gone. Matthew Ridge now being replaced, leaves the field, and the man to come on, Tony Iro, Darryl Williams, going back to the fullback position for the Eagles.
That's an enormous loss from Matthew Ridge, apart from the way that he's been playing in general play. Of course, his goal kicking will be sorely missed, and that's not going to help their cause. Limping very badly, Matthew Ridge. I doubt whether we'll see him back in the game during the course of events.
Dunn. Morrissey. Penalty against Manly for being inside the 5. Sideline comment from Steve Roach.
Yeah, Matthew Ridge has hurt his knee. It could be a cartilage problem, but interesting to see Martin Bella warming up on the sideline here for the Manly Sea Eagles.
Sterlo, you made the point earlier that you've had a rap on Illawarra for a number of reasons, one of them being the ability they have on the bench. And tonight you made the point that that was going to be tested to its limits as well. They're doing it okay so far.
Well, they're doing it very well, but when you can call players like Pinchinelli, John Cross, who actually captained the side during the season this year, you know, you're situated pretty well, and it's a big rap for Graham Murray to have these guys so motivated and so confident. The fact that they can be called on and they come in and they really do a job. Here's another man, Les Morrissey, been around a long time, but he's played well tonight. He's taking the yards up the middle as they want him to.
Away from Riolo, out to Neal. They're on the 22 line as Cross gives it back to Rodwell. Now, coming out of that tackle injured is Jeff Tuvey. So another Manly star is injured. This is Riolo. 5 tackles gone for the Steelers. Skiffletti gets it into the in goal for Williams. Cross tries to peg him in the in goal, but Williams does well.
A man who has been around a long time. He had a fine game for the Steelers on the weekend, Michael Neal. He's having an absolute blinder out there. He's marshalling his players. He knows that with the likes of Ian Russell not there, McGregor not there, he's probably got to do a fair bit more work. Big tackle there, has stripped the ball of Miro. It's going to be a penalty, saying that the ball was stripped out. That's a pretty tough call, that. I thought it was just a good hit front on, Fatty.
I don't know, I thought that the ball, I saw a hand in there somewhere, Sterlo, and I thought it was ripped out by Waddell.
Well, he was just trying to tackle the bloke, wasn't he? His hand was around the football. Like,
yeah, it's a hard call, this rule. I think they've got to get rid of it or do something about the rule. But Tony Oro, who was down on that tackle, he's back and moving out in the wing.
Lions taking the kick for touch. Hancock taking the tap. Hosking tries to make the first impression. Mestrov. O'Donnell. These are good runs by David O'Donnell. Hancock runs into trouble. Mestrov thought about passing with his back to the opposition.
Again, one marker there. Good dummy halves will test you there. O'Donnell got out.
Tuvey, Lyons, now to O'Connor, and now it's with Kevin Iro. Bad pass for O'Connor, dived on by Rodwell for Illawarra.
That's a penalty, Tony Iro there. Lucky to get away with that.
Neal, cross, put down by Lyons. Schifoletti. This is Pincinelli. Pauls, Neal, Schifoletti, Rodwell, Steve Roach.
I'm very impressed with that Neil Pincinelli. He spotted that Manly are weak on this left-hand side, and he's planted himself right out here. That's about the third time he's run up there.
Waddell put down on 5. Just outside the 22. Neal puts up the bomb. Williams coming across. Wishart contests the ball, but Williams takes it well, wrapped up by Michael Neal. Hancock then gets away from his tackle. 20 metres out from the line, and the big fella Bella has gone to the sideline. Roberts. Tuvey. 25.
Be interesting to see who Martin Bella replaces here. They haven't had too many bad performers out there. Steve, do you know who he's going on for?
Yeah, Martin Bella will be replacing Tony Mestrov.
Kevin Iro. This is Manly's last. Lyons. Ferriola. 4-0 in favour of Illawarra. Bella has now taken the field. Tony Mestrov is off. Wishart. Good one. A man, I believe, was signed to play with Penrith from 1993. Play by Cross. Dunn. Away from Bella, but taken by Tuvey.
A little bit surprised that both teams haven't opted for maybe a little chip over the top. They've got a couple of halfbacks who like playing in the line. Both Jeff Tuvey and Michael Neal get up and do a lot of defence. This is the last tackle now. Rodwell's got to get a kick in, but a great tackle coming across gives Manly possession on the halfway line. A quick play of the ball here by Cliff Lyons keeps things rolling for Manly.
That was good work by Ian Roberts. O'Connor brought down. Illawarra looked to be inside the 5. Bella for Lyons. Cuts out Tuvey, picks up Iro. Tony Iro. Back now for Tuvey. Fends away from one. Very close to the sideline. Bella on the surge. Big Bella taking it just inside the 32-metre line.
And put that good surge down to some determination from Bella, but a good quick play of the ball from Jeff Tuvey as well.
Jones.
And the Eagles just starting to get that roll on. They're running a lot harder now, a lot more determination. And Clippy Lyons is going to start and weave some magic.
Lyons holding it back, finding Roberts. 15 out from the line. This is their last. He works the blind side to O'Connor, but it's too full. 4 points to 0 at the 31st minute. Illawarra leading Manly. Matthew Ridge down there. We're wondering whether it's cartilage or hamstring. Let's go to the sideline. Steve Roach.
Yeah, Matthew Ridge looks like he is going to return to the field.
Pincinelli. Penalty goes to Illawarra. I can't believe how this crowd built up as quickly as it did. Just prior to kick-off, say, an hour before kick-off. It looked like a very disappointing crowd, but now it's an enormous crowd here at Brookie. Waddell.
We're getting into that danger time now, Ray. 8 minutes left in this first half. Illawarra have done it quite comfortably. They've been under pressure a couple of times, but they've defended very well. They've slid in defence particularly well. They'll be quite happy going in with the lead at half-time and looking to build on that lead if they can in this next few minutes.
Yeah, very impressed by the Steelers tonight, Steelers. They've done all the little things right, haven't they? The quick play of the balls. Here's a little chip. Worst one I've ever seen in my life, but a knock on. Lucky break there for the Steelers. But their defence has been great. They've covered the whole field well, and everything that Manly have done, the Steelers have been equal to.
Well, I think one of the pluses they were always going to have coming up against Manly is they've got a tremendous defensive 5'8" in Dale Fritz. Cliff Lyons, as we know, is always going to pose problems, but Fritz has handled him quite well, and he's marshalled his outside defences particularly well.
Riolo coming into his back line. 4 handling errors by Manly, 1 by Illawarra. As the ball comes across to Les Morrissey now. Now they go to the right for Neal, to promote for Pincinelli, to push for Cross and then feed for Wishart. Wrapped up in a good tackle by O'Connor and Tuvey though. Pincinelli again. Figured in plenty of the plays tonight. Neal, Waddell. Turns it back inside for Riolo. He's brought down centre of the park, Steve Roach.
Manly are one side that I'd like to see in the semi-finals this year. I think they're the only ones that can challenge the Brisbane Broncos now that Penrith and Canberra are out of the race.
John Cross called on to play the ball. Back play, Morrissey is getting attention for Illawarra. Williams with a ring of defence around him.
Blocker, why do you think that? Just because of the class players they've got and the experience they have? Or?
Yeah, I think it's got a lot to do with it. I think that Manly have got the class players that can score tries from anywhere on the field, and I think we'll see that in the second half.
Big Martin Bella, strong run by him. Roberts looked for it, he ran decoy. Kevin Iro picks up another 20 metres. 2 very good runs by Bella and Iro. Now Tony Iro. Halfway line. Hasler, Lyons. Shot and Waddell, they let the ball bounce.
And this is trouble for Manly now. No, had it gone left. There's a mile of space out here.
Pauls doesn't know where he is. So Manly come up with the ball. Lyons will play it. Have a look at this. Andrew Pauls has played the ball in the wrong direction. Mike O'Connor.
Good dummy half work from Desi Hasler too in the end.
Jones. Jones! He'll go all the way! No, I think he's short.
Great work, John Cross coming across in cover.
O'Donnell for Tuvey, a mongrel of a ball.
And big numbers to Manly out on the right. They'd have to run it here, surely. They've got plenty of troops out here.
Illawarra have slowed the play the ball down. Lyons for O'Connor. He kicks ahead, but it'll go in touch in goal.
Well, as you say, Ray, Illawarra were able to slow the play the ball down. In fact, they've now been caught offside. The penalty has gone. Skippoliti not happy with the call, but they can consider themselves pretty fortunate. It wasn't 4 points, it might only be 2.
Well, I've got to admit to you that when John Jones got into some open country, I thought he'd go all the way, a la the Gold Coast try that he scored. Superb tackle to stop him.
There was a good tackle around the legs, Ray, and it was John Cross who came across. I think he might have scored, may have got out of that tackle and got across. If Cross hadn't have, we'll see it perfectly from front on. Some feeble defence there in the middle of the ruck for Illawarra. There's Riolo going low, got one leg. Well, it was a combination of the two, but tremendous defence right at the last minute.
Yeah, had to be some great defence there, but goes back to that play the ball by the youngster on the wing, Pauls. He's had a shocker. Nearly cost them 6 points. As it is, it could cost them 2.
That's the same young fellow that down at Illawarra about 6 weeks ago, the referee penalised him for being inside the 10. He put the 10 fingers up and Andrew went to the sin bin. He had to be brought back out and told what it was all about. 5-3 the penalties to Manly. 12 goals for the year to Mike O'Connor. He's hooked it too much. No goal. Now the touch judges come running in from the in-goal area. This has got to be against the attacking side, which is Illawarra.
Something's happened. This will be interesting. He couldn't wait to get on there, Martin Weeks.
It's Martin with the Kojak haircut. Now what's going on here?
Oh, his Dale Fritz was coming back to help Piccinelli and has knocked Lyons out of the way, and now he's got 10 minutes. Fritz has got 10 in the bin. Lyons was the man coming through at 100 miles an hour to put pressure on Piccinelli, and Fritz just shouldered him out of the way. I don't know if it's worth 10 minutes.
Well, obviously, Martin Weeks, the touch judge, look at Skiffaletti. He can't believe it. But obviously Martin Weeks has told his referee that in his opinion it was an intentional foul. He's looking at it on the wide shot. It just seemed as though it was a case of Fritz cannoning into the Manly player in an attempt to assist his own player in gathering up the ball.
Interesting to see, Ray. Matthew Ridge is back on the field and taking this kick.
20 metres out. Only about 15 metres in from touch. From the hillside of the ground, brings it around, hits the upright, no goal. Crosses tackle just into the field of play. Just in front of half-time, Illawarra leading by 4 points to 0. Morrissey, who seems to be recovered from an eye injury that he was getting treatment for. Waddell. 4-0 after 39. Done. Skiffaletti, touched in flight again, which makes me ask the question about the value of the charge down attempt these days.
I don't think there's any value whatsoever in them, Ray. 9 times out of 10. Out of the ball, it goes to ground, and quite often there's six to go as we hear the half-time siren.
And the players leave the ground with Illawarra scoring that try. Andrew Pauls it was that picked up the 4 points. No goals have been landed. We've seen a mighty fine contest with Illawarra leading Manly by 4 points to 0. Welcome back to Brookvale Oval, with the Manly side trailing Illawarra by 4 points to 0. And there's the statistics, Paul Vautin, out of that first half, with Illawarra having a hell of a lot more time in possession.
They've had much more of the ball than the Eagles. And the stat down there, total tackles, Manly 120 against the Steelers 101. Now that's because Manly have been kicking early in their tackle count, and they had a lot more tackling to do than Illawarra. 3 clean line breaks there to the Steelers against the Manly's, one where Johnny Jones nearly scored a try. Look, it's 4-0, nothing in the match. The Steelers have surprised everyone here at Brookvale tonight with the commitment and that they've shown, and we could be in for a shock result.
Well, it might be a shock result to Paul Vautin, but it'll come as no shock to the people on the Illawarra.
Oh no, the Eagles were raging favourites to win this one when you consider that Illawarra had 5 players out and never won here at Brookvale. Anyway, Ray, there's 40 minutes to go. We'll see what happens.
John Jones starts the second half. Peter Sterling.
Just having at the top tacklers there. A lot of work done by Ian Roberts, 21 for Manly. Illawarra done up front also has done a very good job. 18 tackles in front of John Cross. So plenty of work up there from the forwards. 120 for Manly, 101 for Illawarra. And in the backs, Clippy Lyons. Well, there's 10 tackles there. Jeff Tooby always worked very hard the 2 halves there. Michael Neal had a marvellous game there, a lot of involvement. Ryan Girdler has come up with 7 tackles on his recall into the first grade side. Steve Roach, first half, who are you tipping?
Well, I'm still going to tip Manly. From the Manly room, they'd like to see their players keep making the hard yards up the middle. Eventually, they'll wear the Illawarra side down. And they said, don't panic, because the try will eventually come. In the Illawarra room, Williams keeps coming off the left-hand side of the wing on their defence, and he'd also like to see the Illawarra players put the Manly players on the ground because they're making them yards in the middle of the ruck. But I'll go for Manly.
Locker, did they say anything about the kicking game of Manly? We've been a little bit critical of it, the fact that they're giving the ball to Illawarra pretty much in good field position. Thought that maybe they may have taken the kicking away a little bit from Cliff Lyons.
No, nothing was really said. I thought they kicked pretty well in the first half, but also Brett Rodwell. We've just heard from the dressing rooms that he's got a suspected broken toe, but he's had a needle at half time and he'll carry on in the match.
Well, here's some trouble for Illawarra. Jeff Tuvey, tackled by Dean Schifoletti. It looked like he got him across the shoulder the first time, but it's the second time where Schifoletti's got him with the forearm.
And Tuvey's in a bit of trouble. Doctor has been called on the field with the trainer. They're very concerned about him. It was a fairly vicious round arm to the cheek. Penalty goes to Manly, of course, and Schifoletti's been on the angry pills tonight, been arguing with referee McCallum all night. Here we go again. Schifoletti thought he had him once. Tuvey tries to go again, and in frustration more than anything, bit of a round arm.
In fact, it's not a problem up around the cheek or jaw area. It's that shoulder that Jeff Tuvey's had a lot of problems with. I don't know if that's the one that's been operated on. He did land quite awkwardly there, and he certainly wouldn't be looking for any more shoulder problems. He's okay. He's back on the blind side of the ruck.
That's David Hosking. Lyons. Hasler. Roberts. Hosking. Tuvey. Lyons. Oh, beautiful pass. Jones for O'Connor. Play on now for Manly.
Well,
Lyons.
he hasn't ruled six again. He's ruled his kick straight in. So this is last tackle, and Bella gets a little one over the top. The Hancock has picked it up. He'll score.
Offside. He's offside. McCallum's got him. And O'Connor's gone over to argue with McCallum, but he waves them away.
Well, let's have a look at this again. It was the last tackle. Tuvey picked up Martin Bella. He knew it was the last. With the delicate little chip over the top. I didn't see if Hancock was onside. Did you pick it up, Fatty?
No, he's a mile offside.
Yeah, I wouldn't say a mile. Probably a metre. That's all it takes.
Steve Roach.
Great play from Martin Bella there. It shows the front rows have got all the skills, Fatty.
Must have learned them off you on that 89 tour.
Chip over the top.
Play by Waddell. Now it's done. Michael Neal. Pincinelli. Morrissey. Four 4-0 in favour of the Steelers. Rodwell. Ridge on a bring-back mission. Iro. Now his brother.
Ryan Girdler is calling his players across here. Manly had created a few overlaps, but again a slow play. The ball has worked against them as Cliff Lyons throws half the dummies, cleaned up by John Cross. Still gets a ball away to Tuvey. He's got Hasler.
Great ball by Lyons. Hasler gives it to O'Connor. Stepping inside the 22. Finds Matthew Ridge. Now David O'Donnell. And he's creamed from behind. They've got to push to the right.
They've gone the wrong way. It'll be a penalty anyway, but it's cost them a try, I believe.
Sinbin as well. Neil Pincinelli.
Well, that certainly was a professional foul. They had big numbers to the right, Manly. Tuvey trying to get the ball out from dummy half. O'Connor half tempted to take a tap kick here.
Well, with 11 players, Illawarra, well, he's taken the shot for goal. I don't know, they've only got 11 players, the Steelers, 2 men in the bin.
And Cliff Lyons not happy, Fatty.
No, well, you know, they had a golden opportunity. We saw them not so long ago, Manly, didn't we? Took the options of a tap, and came up with a try.
Well, here's the play leading up to it. Some great ball movement. Michael O'Connor, a couple of big steps inside, gets inside the high one from Michael Neal. Matthew Ridge back on the field, picks up O'Donnell, hitting a good tackle from behind. Now to the right-hand side, which we can't see out of shot, they had a four-man overlap. Jeff Tuvey and dummy half, Pinchinelli leans over the top, holds him. Tuvey blows up. The Manly team know that 4 points went begging as Matthew Ridge moves in.
Well, Matthew Ridge gets the 2 points for Manly. 4 points to 2. And Illawarra with just 11 men now. This is the incident again.
Yeah, you've got to give the Steelers defence some credit. They jumped out of the ground to save this try. It was a crook play of the ball to start with, but he was never onside, Pinchinelli. And Fritz has come out of the bin. On he goes, so they're back to 12 men.
Tough call for a captain there to come up with one of those decisions as Illawarra and the fresh reserve warming up in Brett Goldspink. 11 players up there. May well be their last competitive game of the season on the Manly side. It's a tough call for a captain, one that you probably wouldn't want to be put in yourself.
Tony Ira. Brett Goldspink is the replacement coming on for Illawarra. Kevin Iro. Tuvey. Oh, gee. Probably looked worse than it was. Lyons. That's going to find the line. Midway 22, halfway, Illawarra's end of the ground.
Well, it's found the line, but not where Cliff Lyons wanted it to. A bit of a shake of the head there. He didn't hit that one right, and he's only picked up about 15 or 20 metres and almost certainly given the ball to Illawarra as they make that change now. Les Morrissey comes off. Goldspink on. He's in the 40 jersey. And he's packing down in the front row.
And they've taken their time with their scrum, Illawarra. That's what they've got to do now. They're down to 12 again. Is to just chew up the clock and take their time when they've got possession. Slow down their own play, the balls, if they can.
Fatty had probably kicked as Illawarra for the line and try and get into many set play situations as you can, scrum situations, etc.
But they'll be looking for the corners.
Wishart. Replacement on for Illawarra is Brett Goldspink. I wonder, is he a member somewhere of that famous Riverina Rugby League family? Once upon a time, I think down in their hometown of Tumbarumba, there were 13 of them making up the Rugby League side. Waddell. Dunn. Good hard yards. 5 gone. Skiffaletti puts it out on the full.
That's not the kick they were looking for now. Manly in attacking position on the halfway mark.
Well, I thought he would have penalised Skiffaletti there. O'Donnell will play it. Lyons. Tuvey. Roberts. Tuvey. Bella now. Good hard run by Martin Bella. He's been an inspiration to Manly since he came on. O'Connor, Tuvey, Lyons. Short ball for Jones. 5 gone against the Eagles. Ridge wants it, but Lyons has got it. Ridge is coming fast from an onside position. Oh, that's a great take by Riolo.
That is sensational football from Riolo. Plenty of pressure on him. 500 Manly players running through, and he's taken that one beautifully.
And an object lesson to any young player playing the game: did not take his eyes off the football for 1 second.
Is that hot dog still over, right?
Pauls. Scored the only try of the game. Andrew Pauls. Skiffaletti tackled. And Hasler is penalised for not being directly in front of the man
Well, he's not
playing the ball.
He's had an okay game, McCallum, tonight. He's a good referee, but not being very consistent in this area. Sure, that penalty had to be given, but there was one a couple of minutes ago, could have been given against the Steelers.
Skiffaletti taking the tap. Waddell. Neal. Dunn. Goldspink. Good defence by Manly. 4-2 to the Steelers. Neal. Fritz. It's play on for O'Connor. He'll score a try in his last appearance at Brookvale. Well, that might have been in the script. I don't think so. But as far as the Eagle fans are concerned, who cares?
Yeah, put it down to determination and persistence by the Manly captain. A bad ball came back from Mick Neal, but O'Connor was there to put pressure on the defence, and away he went, and he's put the Eagles back in front. 6-4 kick to come. The Illawarra were controlling the game beautifully. This ball from Neal just goes nowhere. And some sloppy play from Fritz. O'Connor puts the pressure on, toes it through, and it's all over. Those old legs of his carried him all the way under the sticks. A nice dive. And it's a fitting finish to Brookvale Oval for Mick O'Connor.
Well, it was a bad ball here from Michael Neal, but Dale Fritz, he had 3 goes of trying to clean that one up. Unfortunately, by the time the Illawarra Steelers had reacted to that, Michael O'Connor was away and under the posts.
So Michael O'Connor takes the attempted conversion of his own try and adds the extras. Manly leading Illawarra by 8 points to 4. Wishart sending it down to Ridge as we go to the sidelines. Steve Roach, Tony Iro with a big run.
Well, I don't think you'll stop the Manly Sea Eagles now. I think that's a bit of an advantage they need to get a hold of. I think you'll see the next set of 6, they'll make plenty of yardage.
Hosking. Jones. O'Donnell. Wrapped up by Girdler. Hasler for Tuvey. On for Lyons. Now Ridge. Lyons run around. Cut out ball for Tony Iro. And he's away. Well, why didn't he give it to the outside? Lyons comes up on the inside. Illawarra's got the football.
Yeah, great chase by Dean Skiffaletti. Looked like a try for all your money for the Eagles, but the chase by Skiffaletti was unbelievable. Just kept the pressure on Lyons, kept going at him, and made Cliffy make the mistake.
Ominous signs here for Illawarra. A couple of mistakes starting to set in. Some ordinary defence there. They've got to regroup now. Rod Wishart, a good 10 metres out of dummy half. That was all but a try for Manly, and I tend to agree with Steve Roach. If they'd have scored then, I think this game would have just about been out of their reach, Illawarra. They're on a roll, Manly.
Rodwell, parcelled up. O'Connor and Tuvey. Girdler looked around for somebody, but nobody there. Tony Iro. Since they've come on, both Bella and Iro, they've lifted this Manly side. Kevin Iro.
Ray, we mentioned the big crowd here tonight. No doubt that they've lifted this Manly side as well. There's Pinchinelli coming back onto the field. They need their 13 out there. Martin Bella carries a player, beats a player. Pinchinelli's back on, 13 against 13. But this crowd is lifting their home team.
Long ball for Tuvey. Ooh, I thought he was through the gate. O'Donnell. Good yards, good heady play. Now he drops it.
And what about Jeff Tuvey getting there and cleaning up the mistake? Illawarra had to get on that football. Skipper Liddy should have cleaned up. Did a marvellous job, Tuvey. Those little things in games, they change matches. Steve Roach.
Tell you what, it is all Manly and the crowd's right behind Manly, but if there's a better scrambling defensive side in the competition than Illawarra, I haven't seen them.
8-4 in favour of Manly. If you just joined us, trailed by 4-0 at half-time. David Riolo, Brett Rodwell. Riolo again. Tries in vain to step around Hancock. Wishart. They're eating up tackles with dummy half runs. Cross.
Much more bunched, the Steelers, than they were in the first half. You throw a blanket over them at times out there. First half they had good options both sides and a very deep back line. Michael Neal now telling his players outside that he needs them there. Plenty of Manly defence. Illawarra kick, and that's a fine kick or fine touch, only 12 metres out from the Manly try line.
Rodwell, the man that found the line. Fine player. He's had a couple of outstanding games that we've seen for Illawarra in the last month or so. The scrum will go down about 12 metres out from the Manly line. Illawarra back with their full complement of players now. Scrum fed by Tuvey, won by Manly. Not a good ball to Lyons. He loses the ball, and again Tuvey is there to clean it up. So the scrum will go down 15 away from the Illawarra line, from the Manly line, I beg your pardon.
Yeah, civil drop there from Cliffy in the two-man tackle, but that could be a mistake that Manly could ill afford. Illawarra now get the chance to attack.
Away from Fritz for Riolo, coming into the back line. Oh, chopped down by a Matthew Ridge tackle. Fritz playing it. They're 10 metres away from the line. Neal on for cross. Girdler went inside. 12 metres out from the line. Waddell throws it willy-nilly, finds Skiffaletti. Likewise for Goldspink. Pulled down by O'Donnell. Neal goes himself open. Pincinelli makes the 10-metre line on 5. Skiffaletti. Done. Out for Fritz. Taken out there wide by Girdler. Now it's with Andrew Pauls. Ridge is there. Will he get back into the field of play? Great piece of work by Pincinelli.
Steve Roach, we saw Matthew Ridge come up with 2 great tackles early in the tackle count. He's come up with a good save there on the last tackle again. He's obviously hasn't got too much cartilage damage. I'm surprised to see him back on.
No, it certainly doesn't look that way, but he copped a nice knee in the backside from Rod Wishart then.
He's not too happy now.
He's got a sore buttocks, I think, Paddy.
Ryan Girdler getting up slowly for the Illawarra side. Skiffaletti is still getting up.
The game has been played at a fast and furious pace.
It's been a physical match, hasn't it? One of the more physical matches we've seen all year. They've just ripped into each other, these 2 packs of forwards.
Drop out time from Cliffy Lyons. Bill Dunn. Back to the 32-metre line. Eight 8-4 in favour of Manly. Michael Neal tries to burrow his way through. Penalty goes to Illawarra. Against the Manly defence.
Yeah, Mick Neal trying to get up for a quick play of the ball. He made a little burrowing run. Got 4 or 5 metres, and now they'll have a shot for goal, the Steelers. Wishart to come in for take the kick. But it's good work by Neal.
8-6 the penalties to Manly, as we see Rod Wishart just building his mound for a shot at goal from right in front and 30 metres out. O'Connor screaming at his players while that penalty was given. No penalties, fellas. No penalties.
Well, Snozza said there's one thing left in the game that he wants to achieve, and that is to captain a premiership winning side. And he knows that if they lose tonight, then that dream will be shattered. And no wonder he's screaming at his players, trying to words the mind. He's led from the front. That brilliant try he scored. But now Wishart trying to pull 2 points back.
None from one for Wishart tonight. But the Eagles know there's a sharpshooter out there with his kick in front, but he's pushed it away. And Manly continue with this lead. 8 points to 4. 61 gone. Skipper still not 100%. Let's take a sideline comment as they take the 22 drop out.
Ray, just on Skiffoletti, he's having a bit of a problem with his calf muscles, and I don't know if he'll be able to carry on his last back from that drop out from Manly.
Riola shut down by Lyons and Hasler. John Cross.
Well, Graham Murray must be in all sorts of strife down there. Every time a player takes the ball up, they seem to stay down. Now David Riolo, I'm sorry, is limping in back play. Skippoletti's not 100%. He hasn't got Ian Russell, Paul McGregor, Alan McIndoe. Really starting to lose some players. Craig Izzard, of course, not there. Losing some players at the wrong end of the season. He's been very physical out there. He's been one of the best for Illawarra for mine, John Cross.
Rodwell, charged down by O'Donnell. Riolo with some work to do. 20 metres out from his own line. Rodwell. Pauls. Waddell. No wonder we thought it was a big crowd. 18,294. It's a bumper crowd for Brookvale with the clock showing 17 to go. Sea Eagles, are they semi-final bound? Ridge playing it on the halfway line. Tony Iro. Well, it's a penalty to Illawarra. He's pinched Tony Iro for not playing the ball correctly. Well, let's have a look at this.
Looks like to me he's just dropped it, Ray. I think it should have been a scrum. I don't think he was trying to play it illegally. Just didn't have good ball control. Brett Rodwell finds touch now. 42 metres away from the opposition try line. And those little mistakes, they really can cost you. Illawarra 4 behind on the scoreboard.
Second ball cleared from the field by McCallum. Fritz. This is Goldspink. Gee, that ball was nearly stolen by Manly. David Welsh getting ready on interchange. Sideline, Steve Roach.
Yeah, David Welsh is coming on the reserve grade front row for Billy Dunn.
Neil. They sent decoys all over the place, but they've given a penalty for shepherding.
Well, that's the try. That's how they scored the try on the weekend against Penrith, with David Riolo scoring that try. Interested to have a look at this once again. Michael Neal goes around the 5'8". We see the decoy player there, Brett Rodwell. He takes John Jones out. The number 11 finishes on the ground. And that was where the referee ruled the shepherd was. And we see it from another angle. You see the Manly player, the left of screen, was taken out. But they're in trouble again, Manly there. That's a very good move that Illawarra have had success with.
Bella. Giving them good service tonight. Rumours abounding that he's leaving the Eagles. He looks like a man with a mission out there tonight, though, Martin Bella. Tuvey. Lyons. Oh, gee, Wishart! Went within a boarding house scrape of butter of the intercept.
And look at the despair on Rod Wishart's face. He knows that was try time. Matthew Ridge was a long way the other side of the field, and he was the only man that was a chance of catching Wishart. He'd have scored Rod Wishart, and it wasn't a difficult one to catch.
Grieve on, Roberts off. We carry on now, down into the final minutes. 15 to go on Friday night football. Are we seeing unfolding here the Eagles going for the semi-finals and Illawarra dropping out? Keep in mind they have to play Brisbane next week.
Forward pass, he's ruled that one forward, McCallum. Could nearly been offside, as a matter of fact. Nice set play from the Eagles. Saw Iro get on the outside of Rodwell.
It was that pass from Iro to Iro. It was ruled forward. Pauls comes in from the blind wing, but comes in for a heavy tackle from Cliff Lyons. Rodwell, jolting tackle. The head sat back on the shoulders. Wishart. Now Fritz has left the field for Illawarra. Pauls gets it outside the 32-metre line.
And an important change for Illawarra. In 19, John Simon has gone out. Oh, big mistake here from Waddell, cleaned up by Grieve.
O'Donnell for Tuvey. Tuvey for Lyons. Simon on for Fritz. Steve Roach.
Sterlo, don't be surprised if you see a little chip kick from John Simon. I think it's one of his specialties.
O'Donnell. This is Hosking. Tuvey, Lyons, and the runner-up. Lyons. Wishart reading it well. Hancock has left his wing, but Riolo goes back infield.
Very good work there from Michael O'Connor. Saw that Hancock had committed himself to the inside man, Wishart. O'Connor covered out, was able to nullify the overlap that had been created by Hancock moving in field.
Rodwell. He's taken upon himself tonight, Brett Rodwell, to do quite a few of the forward plays. Waddell. 5 gone for the Steelers. Simon. Ridge getting underneath it. He's playing wounded, Ridge. It's been a courageous performance.
He's proven himself to be a player that can play with pain. We saw him get an injection last week against Brisbane to stay on the field. He's copped a couple of knocks out there tonight that may have had a lesser player going off. Hancock there nearly caught for a shepherd. He shows that he likes to be out there, Matthew Ridge, and he does mix it very well.
Hasler. Manly playing it very close to the chest now. Bella. Good ball. O'Donnell. Jones. Lyons, and that's going to find the line only about 15 metres out. So it's 8 points to 4 in favour of Manly with only 11 minutes to go. The 17 going on for Illawarra.
Shane Wilson in 17, the play going out to the centres. And Ryan Girdler has been the man replaced.
Wishart.
Illawarra's problem at the moment is they're playing the game in their own 40-metre zone and haven't been in the Manly half for the last 10 minutes. And I don't think they've got the strength or the pace to score a try from within this area.
No, they're playing the kind of game that Manly were forced to in the first half. And I think that's one of the main reasons that John Simon is out there for his long kicking game. Punchinelli picked off in the centres there. John Simon should be able to get more depth on his kick for the Illawarra team, and they'll hopefully try and force a mistake in this last 10.
Waddell gets the pass out for Schiavoletti. Tries to promote Wilson up the centre. Steve Roach.
Let's face it, Ray, Illawarra have made hardly any yards up the middle of the ruck. Manly's defence tonight has been semi-final stuff. It's been very good.
Well, this bounce doing the wrong thing by Illawarra. Ridge comes back. Runs into a strong tackle from Rodwell. Hancock.
And this is where the Steelers defence has really got... This could win them the game here, the Steelers defence, if it can keep Manly down in this area.
Grieve. Still, there's no need for any fancy stuff from Manly. Jones.
That's a big run from John Jones there for Manly. What Illawarra now need to do, there's David O'Donnell taking good yards. He's been Manly's best of mine. He's had a wow of a game out there tonight. Illawarra not going to be able to put pressure on the kick here to any good. Well, John Simon's got up. Cliff Lyons has got a good kick away. He might even find touch inside the 22. No, Riolo comes across and cleans up.
Tony Iro. Good front on defence. Michael Neal. Rodwell.
Ball again, Illawarra forced to bring the ball out from their own 22. That's 2 tackles, they haven't got far.
Now, and a few of the Steelers forwards looking a bit tired.
Walsh, Neal, cross with it now.
And I think with an 8-4 lead, the Manly defence is no doubt lifted. And they know they've only got to tackle Illawarra out of the game.
Wishart on his own 32-metre line. Simon floating it out for Riolo. Got a one-hander around the corner for Wilson. Simon. That kick from John Simon. Lollies down inside the 10-metre line, Matthew Ridge. Dummy half back there is Martin Bella. Tony Iro folding in for the first receiver play. Bella falls over. Back on his own 22 still. Grieve. Hosking.
Yeah, this is intelligent play from Manly. No mistake stuff. Taking the yards out with their big forwards. Now they look to get a kick on. Jeff Tuvey outside Cliff Lyons. Find some open spaces. Illawarra again under trouble. A good chase. Tuvey leads the field down, as he's done all night. And the tackle ultimately made by Kevin Iro.
Played by Riolo. Steve Roach.
Billy Dunn going back onto the field for Brett Goldspink. He's been replaced.
Referee.
It's like a blood bin.
Sending, let's see, it's Goldspink going to the blood bin. And Bill Dunn goes on.
That was a good guess, wasn't it?
I was going to say, I thought we'd already said that.
Fairly nasty cut around the eye there too. I know that a lot of blood does come from that area.
It looks like someone got him with a tomahawk.
This is David Walsh.
Might have headbutted a wall, Fatty.
Pincinelli.
He wouldn't be that stupid.
Simon.
Illawarra continue to put this ball down looking for a mistake, but so far they haven't found one from the Manly side still. I'm just thinking, even from this area, they've got to start trying a chip kick or two.
Well, there's still 5 minutes left on the clock. It is getting down to desperation stakes here. I suppose you do have to try something a little bit different. But this is all Manly need to do now is not make any mistakes. It's all one-out stuff. John Jones will come next off O'Donnell. There's another good 10 metres. I'll keep working play that way. David Hosking coming, and let's have a look at the kick next play. what we've seen the last 5 minutes, and Manly will win the game if this continues.
Tuvey wants it to the right. Tuvey puts a grubbing kick in, takes the tackle of Wilson. I thought it might have been a touch late, but then again, he would have been hard-pressed to pull out of it.
No, he looked committed, Wilson.
So this scrum will go down on the Illawarra 22 line. In the last 5 minutes, the scrums for the match, 8-2 to Illawarra. Pauls. Riolo, Rodwell. Well, it seems now that Manly, keeping in mind they would have to beat Cronulla at the Caltex field, heading for the semi-finals. Illawarra, they now walk the semi-final tightrope. Bill Dunn. Tremendous crowd for the Manly club tonight.
Well, I still think they're both on the tightrope. There's the little chip over the top. They got in each other's way, the Illawarra players. It's come off Michael Moore, cleaned up by Cliff Lyons. That might be the match. But this, of course, will take the Manly team on to 24 points. Illawarra already on 25, so the congestion just continues. It's going to be the last round of football that is going to decide the fate of still probably 7 teams.
Hosking. Listen to the roar from the crowd. Not hard to tell that the match is coming to you from Brookvale Oval. Michael O'Connor making his final appearance at Brookie. He scored the try that put Manly in the lead, 8 points to 4. Inside the 3 minutes. Lyons for Tuvey. 2 metres from the line.
Callum didn't quite see what happened there, but he did the right thing. He looked at Martin Weeks, who signalled that there was a little knock on here at the end by Tuvey. He's getting tackled, and Tuvey just lost the ball there. But Illawarra now, they got the scrum, the feed, but gee, they're a long way away from victory. 95 metres.
Simon. 15 out from the line. Wishart.
Well, that's not where they want Rod Wishart now, dummy half. They want to be working towards his wing, preferably go the other way and bring it back and create an overlap, because he is the one player that can go the length of the field.
David Walsh. Dunn. 32 out from their own line. Schiavoletti. Blindside rush for Cross, and that's Rodwell pummeled across the sideline.
Well, that's game, set, match. 2 minutes to go on the clock. No, it's a penalty. It's ruled that the tackle was affected inside the touch.
Well, once again, that must be on the touch judge's report, because McCallum at first just walked over and he must have asked the touch judge.
Well, there we see Tony Ira over the top.
Well, it all seemed to happen in one motion. It's not as if he was tackled and then dragged across the line.
And Illawarra looking for, they've simply made 5 metres with that kick, but looking to throw it wide here.
Neil Pincinelli. Big play for Illawarra tonight from him, particularly first half. Neil, short ball for Dunn. 40 out from the line. Hard yards. Well made. Simon. Pincinelli. Riolo. Simon. Midway 22, halfway.
We're going to see a bomb go up on the last tackle, Ray. That's going to be the last play of the game for mine. Pincinelli's got support.
Rodwell. Now Wishart. Wishart will score. Wishart gets the try. He's going right around to put it down.
Unbelievable.
Well, inside the last minute, Illawarra has drawn level.
Forget the bomb on the last tackle. Look at the Manly players.
The Manly players,
sorry for them.
They're down and out. Look at them. They can't believe it. last minute of the game, and they're going to get beaten here on the post. The Steelers, look at them, they're happy. Why shouldn't they be? They've toiled hard all night, and this last try has been sensational. Sterlo mentioned Wishart. He's the man who finished it off.
Well, I don't know how Brett Rodwell caught the ball in the first place and then got it. Michael Neal comes the blindside. Pinchinelli, O'Connor got caught in two minds. There's the final pass to Rod Wishart. Matthew Ridge coming across. Unfortunately, I've got to blame Michael O'Connor. He got caught in two minds there, and that allowed Brett Rodwell to get through. And didn't Wishart do a marvellous job getting around to score under the posts?
Yeah, great stuff. He knew that he had to get round there for the extra 2 points. And the Manly fans can't believe it. 1 minute, they're heading for the semis. Now they're in trouble.
Well, Matthew Ridge has finally succumbed, but I don't think it matters. The siren has gone, and Rod Wishart, to convert his own try, which will give Illawarra victory by 10 points to 8. Does anybody believe in miracles?
He couldn't miss it, could he?
Michael O'Connor can't look. Wishart, he puts it over the dot, and Illawarra, they go to the semi-finals. Manly bows out, an incredible finish. 10 points to 8. Illawarra wins the game.
And that is the first time the Steelers have ever beaten Manly at Brookvale Oval. Congratulations to them. But Michael O'Connor there, his last game at Brookie, very emotional time for him. I've been there and done it. No doubt he might shed a tear.
Yeah, an unfortunate finish there from Michael O'Connor. He's been one of the game's greats. John Jones shakes the head. The Illawarra team have just proven once again it is an 80-minute game. They tried right to the final minute, and it was the final minute they were able to score the converted try. The crowd aren't too happy, but McCallum's done a fine job out there tonight. And so have both of these football teams, Ray.
A sad moment for Michael O'Connor. Paul Vautin told the story. His dream was to lead a grand final side in these famous maroon and white colours. That dream looked like it was starting to unfold until that last fateful minute of the game.
And what Michael is doing now, Ray, he is presenting his number 4 jumper to Julian Stewart, who has been confined to a wheelchair for years now. And that's he must be very proud, young Julian. I know him myself, he's a great young kid, and a fitting gesture by Snoogle O'Connor, one of the true gentlemen of the game.
It's been a night of sentiment.
I hope for the sake of the fans here at Brookvale that he does do a lap of honour.
Look at those eyes, don't they tell the story from young Julian? And I think there's a tear brewing up. Why wouldn't there be?
And Snoz is heading now over to the hill. He's been a hero here for 6 years. Julian looks on, but one of the greats. I had the pleasure of playing with him for quite a few of those years. Cliffy Lyons goes with him to congratulate him.
Cliffy Lyons, he went over and he held the hand of Michael O'Connor aloft. Michael goes to the hillside of Brookvale for the last time. 18,294. They came here tonight. They knew that it was all about Manly making the semi-finals with victory, but they also were aware that it was the last time for the man they call Snoz, and thanks for the memories. They've been great. Dual international, a great player on the field, but you saw an example of how great he is off the field too, with that presentation of the jumper to young Julian Stewart. Well done, Michael O'Connor.